Should have done this, should have done that. They can't. We might get a shot at them again next week.
Bishop to Rook 9. Red Mountain win it.
You're watching the Lion Pride pregame brought to you by RMTV, bringing you the latest headlines and action in 6A football.
Last Friday was certainly a home opener to remember. The boys got it done last Friday with grit, determination, and just overall doing it the Red Mountain way. Hello, my name is Nate Smith. With me is wide receivers coach Diego Hernandez. And Diego, the wide receivers didn't do much last game. A lot of blocking, a lot of running. What do you tell these guys when it's a week like that?
You know, I've got to give a lot of credit to my receiving group because, like you said, I mean, it's very hard to keep them engaged at times whenever we're not throwing the ball a whole lot. But this is one of the most selfless groups I've had, and honestly, I haven't had to give them too much more motivation as far as just buying into the game plan. Understand that in order to get the offense rolling like we want to, they're a big part of that, even if we aren't throwing them the ball every down. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I've been really proud of how they've committed to the run game. Screen game's been a very big part of our game plan this year. And just blocking for others how they wish to be blocked for when they got the ball in their hands. So I've definitely been very proud of how they've been able to keep that level of engagement going.
Tell you what, from last week I saw a lot of pancakes from the wide receivers. So they definitely show the intensity when it comes to blocking. And going to the stats, Caleb Joe, 12 of 16, 207 yards with 2 tutties. Abnel Lazzarini stepped up in a big way, 17 rushes, 87 yards on the ground. And Arion Wyndham was the leading receiver, 4 catches for 93 yards and a tutty. Meanwhile, Jackson White, Jamison Wade, Cade Gadare, all with double-digit tackle totals. Josh Lee with the lone sack and a big spot on 4th down, and then Cole Edmonds with the game-winning field goal block. Now, Friday was amazing. However, let's move on to next week. But first, let's go to the pick'ems. All right, Coach, the first matchup we got is the ALA Queen Creek Patriots, who we saw last Friday, of course, and the Chandler Wolves, who are fast rising as they beat the Centennial Coyotes in a thriller. I have Chandler by 7 in this one. We obviously seen what ALA is up to. You know, they got Bobby Nesbitt. They got a good defense there. Great quarterback too. But they fell to Cathedral Catholic 24-23. Will Mensell has been throwing the rock great for Chandler. 275 in the air against Centen. Coach, who you got?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Chandler by 10. You know, a lot of no disrespect or anything to ALA Queen Creek. Definitely a really good team. I just know they're a little young on defense, and I know the weapons that Chandler has that you kind of mentioned. I could see Chandler kind of taking advantage of that, so I got Chandler by 10 points.
Next one is the Powerhouse Liberty, obviously the best team in Arizona, maybe second to Basha against the Highland Hawks. I saw Highland in person week 1. They played good against Higley, but not good enough. They lost in a fight. Highland's at risk of going 0-3. Their offense struggled the first 2 weeks, and Liberty is going to be playing angry after their loss to Corner Canyon, Arizona, or Utah's best football team in Draper, Utah. I have Liberty by 30 in this one.
Yeah, pretty close. I got Liberty 28, 4 scores. Highland's a good team. Liberty's a great team to me. I definitely can see them coming out with a little extra motivation after the tough loss last week. Highland, I know they got a quarterback that hasn't played a whole lot of football, and that Liberty defense is no joke. So I could definitely see them causing some fits for Highland.
I feel like Liberty just in general isn't a joke.
No, not at all.
Absolutely not.
No, not at all.
So next up on the pick'em list is the Saguaro Sabercats of Scottsdale and the South Point Catholic Rancers of Tucson. Saguaro slowly improving after their kind of a throwaway season last year. They went 1-9. They beat Chaparral in the tug game, 24-10. As for South Point, Chris Cheney pounded the rock for 217 yards and a touchdown in their win against Tucson Magnet High School. Personally speaking, I think the Lancers are going to get the Sabercats by 13. What do you got?
I got South Point as well. I think it's going to be a little bit closer of a game. I got South Point winning by 2 points. I think South Point's a great team. They got a lot of talent. I know Saguaro has a lot of talent. Marcel Jones you're talking about. That's definitely one of the best athletes at the quarterback position in the entire state. But I just, I gave a lot of credit to South Point's coaching staff. Got a lot of respect for them. So I just imagine them pulling this out in a close one.
Now, let's go to our newest segment on the Lion Pride pregame show. Let's go to pad level.
Pad level.
Now, our pad level topic for today is top 3 sports movies. Now, obviously, we came from like kind of the same generation.
Close.
Gen Z, millennial.
Yeah.
So there's gonna be some differing topics.
Sure.
So at number 3, I mean, this is like unanimous. You have to have it in the top 3. It's gonna be Space Jam.
I like that one.
It's a cult classic. I don't understand why people don't like this movie.
Who doesn't like that movie?
There are people in this universe that don't like
that's
Space
crazy.
Jam.
That's crazy.
Come on.
Yeah.
It's Space Jam. It has Michael Jordan. It has everybody's favorite characters. Okay, so unanimous top 3. I have it number 3 on my list.
Mine, yeah, I feel like I should have put Space Jam. That's a great movie. But for my number 3, maybe this is a bit of a hot take, but I got Remember the Titans at number 3. A lot of people say this is their favorite football movie. I really like it a lot. I think it's not even in my top 3 as far as football movies go. But you know, Gary Bertier,
Oh man.
strong side, weak side, love that. Just gets me fired up. That's definitely my number 3.
My number 2 is gonna be, a comedic movie. It's a feel good. And it has one of the greatest quarterbacks in fictional football history, Shane Falco, and The Replacements. That's his name, right?
Yeah, that is his name. That is his name.
Okay.
Yeah, you nailed it. Come on.
All right.
John
All right.
Wick, John Wick.
I saw this with my girlfriend, I think like a couple months ago, and then it's been on repeat ever since.
Hey, chicks dig the long ball.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Coach Diego, what do you have for number 2?
Mine, I mean, we talked about it. I'm a millennial. You're from Gen Z. You probably weren't even, I don't even know if you have any recollection of Blockbuster ever existing. But when I was a kid, you take me to Blockbuster, it's a guarantee I'm coming home with Like Mike every single time. Calvin Cambridge, come on. You've seen that, right?
Okay, all right.
You've seen this, right?
This is gonna upset you, but I've never
Oh
seen that.
my God, dude. Oh my God, that's unbelievable. Calvin Cambridge, guys, was like my Michael Jordan growing up. That is every kid's dream. You find Michael Jordan's shoes and become an NBA basketball player at the age of 8 or 9. I don't even know how old he was, but he's playing in NBA games as a child. It was the coolest movie.
All right, and at number 1 for me, the sheer amount of firepower in this movie is unmatched to any movie that we have gone over. It's gonna be The Longest Yard.
Old one or new one? Old one or new one?
I'm gonna say the new one.
Yeah, okay, I agree.
I think it's the new one. Adam Sandler, Michael Irvin Nelly was in there. Stone Cold Steve Austin, Bill Romanowski, and Bill Goldberg.
Yeah.
With rocking the jersey with like the X on it.
Mm-hmm.
He's not rocking a number. I mean, I think that's number 1. The sheer amount of star power is unmatched.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a great one. For me, my all-time favorite sports movie in general has to be Friday Night Lights. This is something that we quote all the time in the coach's office. Coach Matt Kelly, you guys know him real well. He just loves him some Tim McGraw in that movie. Tim McGraw is really just Coach Kelly's GOAT. So I'm gonna have to follow suit with old Coach Kelly on this one. And Friday Night Lights, that's my go-to. Mike Winchell, Boobie Miles. Come on, can't go wrong with that.
What's your opinion on the newest Space Jam movie?
That one I can totally get behind with the idea of it just being garbage. I mean, come on. I mean, you just threw a bunch of money to make it look all pretty and cool, but the plot wasn't great. LeBron, not a great actor. And it wasn't done right.
Oh,
it wasn't done right.
I just thought of another one, The Mighty Ducks.
Also, yeah. Mo, that's dude. Oh, yeah, that's a great one. Quack, quack, baby. Come
Guys,
on.
we gotta start. We gotta start the segment over again.
That is a good one too.
Oh, we can repeat as many pad levels as we want, but we
like
gotta
that.
keep going.
I like it.
Let's preview tonight's game against the Sandra Day O'Connor Eagles. These two teams last met back in 2022. Fun fact, it was actually Kyle Ender's first home game as a head coach. And coach, you've been in the film room for 2 days this week. What'd you see in this game?
Yeah, man. I mean, they're a very great football team. They definitely seem like they pride themselves in being physical up front. You know, you got 2 Division I tackles, left side on the right side. So that's definitely, we're gonna have our hands full there. I know they got a great back. Defensively, they do a lot of funky stuff. So they're definitely gonna be good on both sides of the ball. And if we don't show up, play our best brand of football, man, we could be in trouble tonight. But yeah, I mean, they're definitely a good opponent, but I'm excited to get after it a little bit tonight.
Yeah, so offensively, you said the defense likes to do some funky stuff, you know, whether that's shifts and, you know, switching from man to zone and all that schematics. What's the goal for your wide receivers this game?
I really just got to the biggest part is just taking advantage of the secondary in the run game and in the screen game, right? Like we talked about earlier in the show, being able to block on the perimeter. That's going to be a big part of what I'm preaching on the outside. And then just staying patient and being ready when our number's called to make plays downfield. If we're talking about funky stuff, I mean, we're talking about man or zone. Sometimes they mix man and zone in the same type of coverages. So we got to be ready to win whenever they want to give our outside guys those man looks outside by themselves. So I'm hoping we can win on some plays downfield there too.
And offensively, are you going to look to be more of a pass-heavy team or a run-heavy team, or kind of a mixed bag of the two?
Yeah, I think we got to just kind of thrive in that middle. We want to always try to keep things balanced, even run, pass. Our screens technically are passes, but we kind of view those as extensions of our run game as well. But I imagine things being pretty balanced tonight.
Some exciting things on this side of Brown Road, and you wouldn't want to miss any of it. I'm Nate Smith. This is wide receivers coach Diego Hernandez, and we'll see you next time on the Lion Pride pregame show.
Thursday night, but football being played in the state of Arizona as the 2-0 Red Mountain Lions travel to Sandra Day O'Connor High School to take on the O'Connor Eagles on this September 11th. Greetings and welcome everybody. Alongside Nate Smith, I'm Zach Warhack, and an F-35 flyover pregame by Fuego Wilson as we're treated to that on this historic day. And we thank all those who have protected and served in this tragic day throughout history as these two teams get ready to take the field. Nate, a big one tonight for both squads. When we talk about O'Connor, the elephant in the room, Tyler Johnson, starting quarterback, injured against Hamilton last week. They'll go with Cale Oglesby tonight. I think it's a heavy dose of the run.
Yeah, absolutely. And without that heavy dose of the run, the offensive linemen aren't going to play well. You know, they got 2 star tackles, both of which going to play at the next level. And at Red Mountain, they struggled a lot on the defensive front. They struggled to get pressure on the quarterback. Only 1 sack last week against ALA Queen Creek. They need to generate some pressure on the offense, on the defense, in order to win this game.
And that sack came from one of their traditional offensive linemen, Josh Lee, who we see in defensive packages for this Red Mountain team. Oftentimes 3rd and 4th down, generated a huge stop to change the momentum in that game against ALA Queen Creek. Red Mountain end up pulling out the win in that one, and it was a battle through and through. They trail at the end in that moment that you talk about. An 8-point game could have become 11 if ALA decided to kick the field goal. They went for it. Red Mountain stymie them and able to make things happen.
Yeah, and then looking at the rest of the schedule for Red Mountain, next week they got South Point at home, and then Sandra Day O'Connor's got Corona del Sol at Corona del Sol. Meanwhile, Red Mountain's half of the schedule is looking pretty difficult. It's going to be a gauntlet when you're playing teams like Mountain View, Highland, and Queen Creek to end the year. And then meanwhile, Sandra Day O'Connor, they said they have Chandler, Centennial, then Liberty at the end of the year. Obviously one they have circled on their calendar.
And still a couple weeks away for us to be able to see that Chandler transfer play quarterback for Red Mountain, Dominic Carmigiano. So it will be Caleb Joe to get the start tonight. And I'll tell you what, Nate, he looked incredible last week against ALA Queen Creek. We talked about the word game manager throughout that broadcast. Caleb Joe, he went above and beyond that last week. 207 yards, 2 touchdowns through the air, 156.3 quarterback rating. He played exceptional.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's the right kind of guy for the job this early in the season. Abnel Lazzarini carrying the rock for Red Mountain. He played exceptional. Stepped up in a big way when 2 of the starting running backs for Red Mountain, Vinny Coffey and Nevin Fitzgerald, were out due to broken collarbones. And it's going to be interesting to see if they continue that running trend tonight.
And you talk about the failure here to create a lot of pressure for the defensive line for Red Mountain during some of those passing plays last week. There won't be too many that we see tonight. I think it's all going to rest on Jeremy Adonju, the running back for O'Connor, a junior, and he's been having a stellar season. Big win against Valley Vista the first week for Sandra Day O'Connor, and they led against Hamilton, right? They were up 7-0. The first drive of the game for Hamilton, interception by Marcus Johnson over the middle of the field, resulted in a touchdown, and then a little bit of back and forth between the teams. Hamilton ultimately prevailed. But talk about those tough schedules we said both these teams will be facing. I mean, those first couple of weeks you kind of ease in, begin to find your identity, and then it's a gauntlet.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. Going back to O'Connor's game against Hamilton, they had a chance at taking the lead. And then we focus on offense, we focus on defense. What are we forgetting? We're forgetting the little brother, number 3, sibling number 3, special teams. Hamilton blocked 2 punts on the O'Connor Eagles, and blocking those punts is tremendous when it comes to taking over games. The momentum of a game can swing into another team's favor when one blocks a punt.
You can certainly bet that both teams have identified that as a factor in the game tonight and will be focused on it. Head coach Kyle Enders for Red Mountain, as well as Ben Cullis over for Sandra Day O'Connor. Both defensive-minded coaches. Cullis takes care of the defense as well as Kyle Enders. Do you think we get any different looks from this Kyle Enders-led Red Mountain defense, the way that you've talked to him and spoke about pressure needing to be created to kind of blow things up on the defensive side?
You know what? Kyle Enders' message is basically the same every week. You know, you got to do what you got to do on all fronts of the ball, offense, defense, special teams. You play complementary football, get out of the or get after the quarterback and just play complementary football. If the offense does its job, defense needs to follow suit, get a few stops, and vice versa.
Fiesta Bowl out here at the field tonight as the captains take the field for the coin toss, and also being broadcasted on CW. But we thank you for joining us on RMTV tonight. Yosinese out with Jamison Wade, Jackson White, and Josh Lee to handle things for Red Mountain. And you see one of those big tackles for O'Connor, a captain, Tucker Smith, really drives this offensive line. Him and Jaden Maxey on the opposite sides, left tackle, right tackle, will be fun to watch as we get the close-up here of Jamison Wade. Coin flies up, and the decision awaits our officiating crew tonight. They point to the side of O'Connor. They choose to defer, and it looks like Red Mountain will get the ball to start this game. Brendan Yelitowski, our referee who will be spearheading the crew for tonight. Officiating sometimes can be a factor, sometimes cannot, but what every coach's message will be is control the controllables, Nate.
Yep, players play, coaches coach, referees ref, everybody does their own job. That doesn't mean arguing with the officials with calls. You just do your individual job and everything will fall into place.
A high-profile game set to take way in the state of Arizona on a Thursday night. All eyes on us. Red Mountain take on O'Connor when we return. We welcome you back into Sandra Day O'Connor High School for Thursday night football in the state of Arizona. Alongside Nate Smith, I'm Zach Warhack. The 2-0 Red Mountain Mountain Lions set to receive, and back deep is the lethal return man, Tyreek Cornett. When I spoke with O'Connor, head coach Ben Cullis prior to the game, he wants this ball out of the end zone each and every time, Nate.
Yeah, Tyreek Cornett is lethal in the return game. He took back a long one last week against the Patriots. He's known to have some afterburners. He can shift it into fifth gear.
3 kickoff returns for 89 yards a week ago for Tyreek Cornett. Cohen Horst sets this one underway, has the wind on his side, and it gets deep into the end zone. And we'll now see a Brian McDaniel-led offense, spearheaded by quarterback Caleb Joe, step onto the field for the first time tonight. A heavy dose of the run set up the pass for Caleb Joe's 207-yard, 2-touchdown performance a week ago, and we really saw Arian Wyndham break out.
Yeah, absolutely. And the good thing about Caleb Joe is that he was accurate on his passes. He didn't take a lot of them. He was extremely accurate. He picked and chose which routes he wanted to throw, and he threw the correct ones.
A very composed quarterback, especially for a junior. King Robinson sets out wide to the bottom of the screen, and Anthony Peevler in the slot. A new look for this Red Mountain offense. Abnell Lazzarini, the back. Peevler motions back to a more comfortable spot. Lazzarini with the carry on first down. And a nice pickup, good positive yardage to start things off for Red Mountain.
Yeah, that's what you want. You want positive plays at all times. Good job by the offensive line controlling that line of scrimmage early.
A running back room that's seen plenty of adversity to start the year. Vinny Coffey and Nevin Fitzgerald, the 1-2 punch, both with a broken collarbone early in the season. So Abnell Lazzarini comes in. But when we spoke with head coach Kyle Enders, he said this running back room can be as deep as 8.
Just the power of depth right there. It is just good to have so many bodies. You know, you can get those guys rotated in. It gets a little hard when, you know, like 2 minutes left and you're up by a lot. You got to start filtering those guys in. But no issues with that.
Pre-snap penalty on second down, and it looks like Red Mountain moving backwards. So the first time the flag has flown this evening with 11:11 left in the first quarter on RMTV. Opening drive for Red Mountain, the usual suspects out there. And now, well, an unfamiliar face for the offense. Tyreek Cornett on the field, trips formation, bottom of your screen.
Cornett played a little bit of offense last year in his first year in a Red Mountain uniform.
Lazzarini carry to the right side over towards the O'Connor sideline, and he stays in bounds. The clock continues to wind. And it'll be, well, right around 3rd down and 6 when they return to the huddle. And Abnell Lazzarini limping off the field, not a sight you want to see if you're a Red Mountain fan. We've already talked about the injuries to this backfield room, and that would be a costly one to go down.
We just hope that it's nothing serious. That means Darius Grayson Courts, the sophomore, is going to step up.
And he's been good in the times that he's seen. 5 carries in the opener against Desert Pines, 6 against ALA last week for 22 yards. And we have a late penalty at the end of the play, that pushes this one across the 30-yard line, and Red Mountain now approach midfield.
Yeah, it looked like a personal foul on O'Connor. I didn't quite catch the tail end of it. Must have been some extracurriculars.
The one to keep everyone in check for that squad is Colton Lawfer, the safety, kind of quarterbacks this defense, and he'll be one to watch out for in both the running and passing game. Play action from Joe, looks out for his tight end Wyndham, and he has a first down and a little bit more. Jaden Wyndham, the sophomore, absolutely electric for this Red Mountain offense.
Yeah, just an absolute stud at the tight end position. They have him at the wing, they have him in the flex. Kind of like an Andrew Schmier type tight end, and just like Andrew Schmier, that route was his go-to. And we've seen it a lot out of Red Mountain last year. That route was just wide open like 90% of the time.
Beautiful pitch and catch between him and Joe. And now Red Mountain pass midfield in O'Connor territory. They go back to the ground this time around, and a swarm of tacklers from O'Connor take down Grayson Courts. Chase Bigler, first one in to make the stop for O'Connor, the junior. He had 1 tackle against Hamilton last week, already matches that line. And a substitution for O'Connor is Caleb Nold. Gets the call from the sideline, and heading out deep, Bigler, after he makes the stop, returns to the sideline. A loss of 1 on the play for Red Mountain, 9:45 left in the first, 2nd down and 11. Wyndham in motion to the far side of the line. Joe back to pass the whole way and cuts it underneath, and he has another Wyndham. That's Arian Wyndham, unrelated to Jaden, and big stops back-to-back for the O'Connor defense.
You know, great cover there by O'Connor. And Wyndham just ran, just a straight up drag across the 50. He drifted back towards the line of scrimmage, even went behind the line of scrimmage. Fooled me there. I thought it was a screen.
3rd and 14 for Red Mountain. They go check with me. They got ALA Queen Creek jumping offside a couple of times last week. O'Connor stayed disciplined, and you can certainly believe that's something they talked about in the film room.
Got trips to the strong side.
Joe looks for the sticks, and he has Wyndham. He cuts back behind the chains, tries to fight for the additional yardage. It's going to be close and depend on the spot, but he has the first down by a yard. Huge conversion and a pickup of 15 on 3rd down for Arian Wyndham.
Yeah, it's going to be just a 15-yard dig. And Caleb Joe does a great job at just hitting his target. I mean, what do we say about Caleb Joe? He's highly accurate. He picks and chooses his target. He takes what the defense gives him.
Good to see Lazzarini back in the game at running back for Red Mountain. Fights to get back to the line of scrimmage, maybe a gain of 1. It seems like the play calling early on in this first drive from Brian McDaniel, he has more confidence in Caleb Joe. I know you need the deep route on 3rd down and 14, but he's thrown a couple intermediate passes. It's not been too heavy of a dose of the run game. He's letting it fly tonight.
Yeah, they're running a balanced attack, and like Coach Diego said in the pregame, they want to run a balanced attack, a little bit of run and a little bit of pass.
4 minutes gone on this opening drive for Red Mountain. They fake the pitch to Lazzarini, go over the top, just out of the reach of Jaden Wyndham.
Oh, he picked that.
They're saying intercepted. An athletic play by Corin Ellie on the far sideline, and that's exceptional if he's able to get under that. Doesn't look like the call is going to be coming back any which way, so what a play by the O'Connor defense to come up big on the opening drive.
That's just a heck of an effort from Corin Ellie, laying out to make the catch. I mean, Caleb Joe's going to throw this fade ball, and wow, that was close.
Bobbled it at first, but it did look like he was able to contain it and control it before hitting the ground. And that's a big spot for the O'Connor defense to step up, because Red Mountain was driving, looking very successful, and killing time. Pre-snap penalty could go either way.
Well, the Red Mountain, one of the nose tackles jumped.
Looks like Crew Vanderlinden on the inside.
Going to be offsides.
And everything seems to be going right at home for O'Connor early on. What was a 4-minute and 20-second drive in the making for Red Mountain turns into an interception. And now O'Connor take over deep in their own territory, but they get a flag to make it 1st and 5. Red Mountain stack the box, anticipating the run, and they'll get it on 1st down, and a nice tackle made in the backfield. Cornett comes to clean everything up.
Yeah, that's exactly what you want out of your defensive backs. Look at Cornett play contain. He gets away from Tucker Smith, the Ohio State commit. Yeah, that's a great pairing.
Briggs Wiltbank, the first one to get in to make the stop for Red Mountain, and Cornett really just cleaned it up and assured it. High snap this time, and the pitch out wide. Red Mountain, Jamison Wade makes the contained stop, and Adonju is one of the top running backs in the state of Arizona. You're going to see a heavy dose of him tonight.
Yeah, we got a mountain lion down in the backfield.
Oh, it looks like Chayton Jennings from back here, and that's tough. He could not stay healthy in the game last week, and he stays down on this play. Both teams head back to the sideline, and we'll take an injury timeout. 6:46 left in the opening quarter on RMTV. We'll be back with you in a few. Chayton Jennings able to head back to the Red Mountain sideline with help from the trainers, putting no weight on his right foot until he gets about 5 yards away. And that is not a sight you want to see. And it's been such a tough ride for Chayton Jennings. Broke his arm in 2 places a season ago that put him out for the remainder of the year. And last week, he came in and out of the game 3 times against ALA Queen Creek, getting banged up in a few different spots. We'll keep an eye on that as he gets work on the sideline. But we resume 3rd down and 3 for O'Connor inside their own territory. Oglesby back to pass, fires over the middle, incomplete. Kai Jackson will be awarded the breakup as he catches it on a one-hopper. And well, with the turnover and the interception by Coronelli, it's a 3-and-out for the O'Connor offense, and a huge part of that is the run stop by Briggs Wilbank and Tyreek Cornett, Nate.
I mean, yeah. I mean, that loss right there going to play a key part in this game. When we talk about special teams, this is a bit of a funky formation for special teams. You think of guys having tight splits. Well, here's another one.
Cornett back at his own 45 to receive the punt. And if he has a chance to take it, you better watch out. Cornett tracks it down and has a swarm of O'Connor defenders to beat, and that is great gang tackling by O'Connor to keep contained. Colton Dermer, the first one in on the stop, but 5 different players responsible for bottling up Cornett.
Yeah, that's exactly what you want out of your gunners. Get down the field as quick as possible so Cornett doesn't have the opportunity to return it back for a touchdown.
You took the words out of head coach for O'Connor, Ben Cullis's mouth. That's exactly what he told me in the pregame when I asked him about how dangerous Tyreek Cornett is. He says, we have to get down the field fast or kick it out of bounds. 6:21 left in the opening quarter. Red Mountain have their second possession, and a little wide receiver reverse this time around. Trickaroo from Brian McDaniel and a pickup of 8. Nice carry by Crew Johnson.
That's a good job at utilizing the young guy with his speedy abilities. It's going to be a wide receiver end around. Nearly picking up the first down there.
And you never know just how healthy these teams are week in and week out. Depth pieces ever so important, but this run play absolutely blown up in the backfield by McKylan Howland. He's one of those lead players for the defensive line of O'Connor.
Well, it was clear that time that the Eagles won the line of scrimmage there. If you're Red Mountain, your offensive linemen need to get ahead on a hat, just so those gaps can open up for the running back.
Red Mountain go up-tempo back to the line at least after a quick stop, and it's 3rd down and 5 from their own 46. Joe pumps with the shoulders and hit as he throws. Incomplete. He was looking for Jaden Wyndham in the secondary, and Colton Lawford tracked that one down. That one just came out of the hand a little wobbly. I think that Joe was tapped on the arm or at the line when he threw it.
Yeah, and that ball wobbled forever. You can hear Kyle Enders. He's fired up.
Well, both defenses coming up huge to start this game, and it's kind of a response that O'Connor wanted to see. They only gave up 6 in the opening week to Valley Vista, but then playing one of the toughest teams in the state of Arizona, Hamilton ended up putting 62 points on the board. A good start for them tonight. Pitzer puts a boot on this one, and that one is beautiful, but through the end zone. And I'll tell you what, Chase Pitzer has one of the biggest legs in the state of Arizona, and he's a small guy too, Nate.
I mean, that was just an absolute boot of a punt. I feel like that could have went, let's see, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. You think 60 yards?
At least into the end zone. A touchback's something good for O'Connor, though. They'll benefit from it and be able to start this drive from the 20. They were pinned in their own zone after the interception on the previous drive. And it looks like we're setting ourselves up for a defensive battle tonight here at O'Connor. Chayton Jennings still being worked on the near sideline. Has the ankle in a brace now, and it's ripped off, but having it wrapped up. And to be honest with you, I think that Dominic Carmigiano is the one wrapping and working on Chayton Jennings on the sideline. That's the transfer quarterback for Red Mountain, getting his work done on the table. That's something you ever seen before, Nate?
No, never.
Now, could you be a dual athlete and sports med student at the same time, able to have your knowledge and help out there?
You know what? I mean, it's possible. You know, you see on TikTok and Instagram, kids who are, you know, band and football. They're part of the orchestra and play football. Not really like a dual sport. How would you put that?
I think that it's exactly what all these players are, student athlete, right? You're in the sports med program, helping workout players on the sideline, assessing injuries, seeing what you can do just to help the team out, and also performing on the field.
The student always comes before the athlete. But that's the quality of a team player right there. I mean, one of your guys is down, you help him out with the tape, kind of get some motivation, like, hey man, everything's gonna be okay.
Now August Blaze checking out the table too. Everyone seeing how Chayton Jennings is doing on the near sideline. And you get a good look at the student section over for O'Connor. The bleachers absolutely packed tonight. And how could you not be? The CW's there. So we have the feel of that full television game TV timeout in the midst of it right now. But Nate, you and I, we love yapping, don't we?
Yes, we do.
We keep it here with you on the first break as O'Connor break out. And they set things up from their own 20 with 4:55 left in the first quarter. And we're still scoreless. Second drive of the game being spearheaded by sophomore quarterback Cale Oglesby. He's only thrown 9 passes on the season, 59 yards total and 2 interceptions. They were all stats against Hamilton when he had to check into that game last week after Tyler Johnson went down to injury. Hand off to Adonju, this time bottled up, and, well, a couple of good tacklers, Cole Edmonds, Kai Jackson.
He is a human joystick. I mean, he can turn on a dime. 90 degrees, 0 to 60. I mean, even if it's in slow-mo, you could still see him and his quickness in full effect.
He ran into Colton Dermer in the backfield that time around, still able to scrounge out 3 yards. 15 left on the play clock here for Oglesby. Back-to-back handoffs, and he slips away from another tackle. Red Mountain have the penetration, but Adonju picks up a nice gain after Cole Edmonds finally makes a tackle.
That's going to be a key to victory right there. Contain, playing contain, not getting too excited. And a good block by the receiver on the outside there.
Guard Lyle steps into the game, and he's one of those replacements for Chayton Jennings. Derek Wilson also in the secondary. Adonju gets it on 1st and 10, bottled up by Jamison Wade. So it's going to be a steady dose of run blitzing and coverages tonight for Red Mountain, but it opens up the play action if they bite too much.
Yeah, they just got to play passive. Passive enough to not let any big plays. And I got a good feeling that Adonju's name is going to get called a lot tonight.
Rocky Granillo in on the defensive front for Red Mountain as they bring the big bodies home. Adonju takes the carry, reads the blocks, and spits out for another first down.
I mean, Red Mountain last week against the Patriots, Bobby Nesbitt got a lot of carries and a lot of yards. And they're attacking Red Mountain's weak spot right now.
Adonju heads back to the sideline for a breather this time around. He was responsible for both of the touchdowns that O'Connor scored against Hamilton last week. One on the ground to open things up and another one through the air.
He got trips to the far side here.
Oglesby goes play action.
Oh my!
Tyreek Cornett had a free ticket to the end zone, and he just couldn't hang on to the interception.
Oh, a little bit of Downey deja vu there. We almost witnessed it. Tyreek Cornett had a pick six just like that last week against the Downey Vikings during the Honor Bowl. And I think that's a play that O'Connor isn't going to run again. Ooh! Right in the breadbasket.
2 pick sixes a season ago for Tyreek Cornett. That will be one that he remembers. Pressure from Red Mountain up the middle. That one knocked away, and almost another interception. Jackson Simmons, the intended receiver, and a nice blitz drawn up by Kyle Enders.
I mean, although it wasn't an interception, great PBU by Red Mountain, back-to-back defensive stands, and it brings up 3rd down.
10 to go for O'Connor, 2:19 left in the first, and back-to-back dangerous passes. We'll see if they get Adonju back out onto the field for 4th down, and he is in the backfield. Red Mountain crowd begin to make some noise. Oglesby high snap and a check down screen. Adonju met immediately. Cole Edmonds in to make the stop, and a nice read by Red Mountain.
There you go, just a good job at reading the screen. Granted, defensive tackles were a little bit fooled by it. I mean, it's the urge of getting a sack. You think you have a free path to the quarterback. And Yosenis read it a little ways too, and way to rally to the ball.
Cade Goodere gets in there. Cole Edmonds the first to hang him up. And the second punt of the night for O'Connor. Cornett back to receive it. With the pick six on his mind, maybe he gets loose here.
So look at how many guys they have on the line right here.
Not a clean way for the punt to get off. Shanked towards the Red Mountain sideline. And great field position. Jamison Wade, Cole Edmonds get deep on the punt pressure. A quick return to the field for the Red Mountain offense with 1:24 left in the first quarter. And the ball sets up at their own 38-yard line. There's a fast start on the opening drive for Red Mountain, and then things just kind of slowed down ever since the interception by Caleb Joe.
Yeah, and interceptions are just absolutely momentum killers right there. And Kyle Enders was fired up about the offense on the second drive.
Lazzarini breaks a tackle and he picks up 10, but a flag right back at the line of scrimmage. The ball comes loose at the end of the play. And depending on what this flag is, we'll see the result if that's a live ball and O'Connor turnover. This will be interesting the way this shakes out. Abno Lazzarini fought hard the end of the run and the ball came loose. Personal foul against Red Mountain declined, and that's an O'Connor ball.
Wow.
The forced fumble by Caden Vallow ends up giving O'Connor their best field position of the evening, and that's 2 Red Mountain turnovers on 3 drives.
Just an unfortunate start for Red Mountain. Defense didn't really even get a break there. And in essence, that was basically a first down pass for O'Connor.
This is something that O'Connor have been able to do in back-to-back weeks. They started the game on top 7-0 against Valley Vista 2 weeks ago, and an interception led to an Adonju touchdown. They passed this time around wide open over the middle, and it's like deja vu. I'm not sure if you were able to get your hands on any of the film from last week's Hamilton game, Nate, but this is exactly how it started on the opening drive. Hamilton threw an interception, and then Hamilton sold out for the run and gave up a big pass through the seam. This is exactly what O'Connor have to Carson Craig.
Well, Jackson White, number 7, he had a good read on it. He just wasn't able to step in front of the slant. And O'Connor threatening.
I'm telling you, this is exactly what they did to Hamilton a week ago. It was a big pass to Craig and then Adonju. He gets it here. Adonju looks to fight for the pylon, and he's brought down out of bounds right around the 3.
Oh, he's just a scary runner, man. It was just a one-on-one. Shoestring tackle, it looked like.
If I told you he had 178 yards week 1 against Valley Vista on the ground, would you believe me?
I would believe you.
Well, you should believe more because he had 214 and 4 touchdowns. Setting up nicely for an opportunity here. 31 seconds left in the first quarter, and we're scoreless on RMTV, but O'Connor threatening. They go to Adonju, right side, follows a cavalry of blocks, walks into the end zone, and a 7-0 lead at home pending the extra point for O'Connor.
I mean, with a back like Adonju, that was just too easy for the Eagles. Outside zone. They get the pull. From number 58, Drew McCall. And that's why O'Connor's just been so successful with Adonju. Great schemes up front, and just a powerful back to show for it.
Cohen Horse knocks the extra point through to make it 7-0 O'Connor. We'll see if Red Mountain can respond when we return on RMTV. Turnovers lead to points for Sandra Day O'Connor at the back of a Jeremy Adonju rushing touchdown to have them on top 7-0 at home with Thursday night football in the balance between Red Mountain, 26 seconds left in the first quarter, and Tyreek Cornett back deep to attempt to receive, and this one through the back of the end zone. That's been the game script for the special teams kickoff for O'Connor.
That's been the name of the game right now. O'Connor is just dominating on all sides of the ball.
Adversity becomes the name of the game for the Red Mountain offense. 2 turnovers on their opening 3 drives, and that has them trailing 7-0. We'll see what Brian McDaniel does adjustment-wise this time around as his offense takes over from their own 20. Joe with a little flip up to Wyndham, and he tries to follow Josh Lee Poling, but Lee just late to get there. And the O'Connor defense showing speed.
Red Mountain also showing speed, but they're going west to east. They need to start going north and south. That's what helped them in their win last week.
Loss of 4 on the play, and that bleeds out the clock for the first quarter. 7-0 lead for O'Connor at home. Red Mountain talk things over between the break. Red Mountain trail 7-0 on the road to Sandra Day O'Connor for some Thursday night football throughout the state of Arizona. And they'll have 2nd and 14 from their own 16 as we come out of the break alongside Nate Smith. I'm Zach Warhack. And Nate, what have you seen from this offense from Red Mountain early on, or is it something where O'Connor have just schemed up a perfect defense to begin?
I think it's both. O'Connor is playing well in the trenches. They're getting after the guy, and they're causing turnovers, especially the fumble with Abnell Lazzarini. On the Red Mountain side, I see a lot of plays going east and west. In order to get the first down, you got to go vertical. And I'm talking whether that's digs, verticals, maybe scheme up a few drags or some hitches, or just go straight draw play and trust in your trenches.
It was such a swing of momentum, that fumble you talk about from Abnell Lazzarini, because he chunked off a big run. He fought for extra yards. It was going to be a pickup of around 9. And then there was a personal foul on the play from Red Mountain that ended up being declined. And O'Connor took over, and it's been history from there.
I will say, on that fumble, there was like 3 or 4 guys on Abnell Lazzarini. The Eagles are flying to the ball.
Wyndham motions in back towards the line, 2nd and 14. Play action, Joe looks towards Wyndham, and he takes the shot for him. Wyndham! Oh! He fought back and battled through coverage and certainly had an opportunity to come down with that, but Caden Vallow, who forced the fumble on Lazzarini, the closest to break up the pass.
And I will say, while that ball was in the air, there was a mighty gust. That definitely had an effect on the trajectory of the ball.
Well, an injury update from you here in the booth. Chayton Jennings on crutches, no cleats on the sideline, so he's likely out for the remainder of the evening.
Just a bad loss for Red Mountain secondary.
Joe escapes the pocket on 3rd down, just gets back towards the original line of scrimmage, and it looks like a Chase Pitzer punt will be coming up.
Say, I'm liking the deep shot to Arion Wyndham on the play before. You know, one of these times, maybe 2, Kalo Joe is going to connect.
Four tough drives to start the evening for Red Mountain's offense. And it's something we saw last week, not necessarily where it was a tough start for the offense, but the defense energizing the team to be able to get things going. Fair catch called for and barely held on to. But a nice job to track it down, that time by Jackson Simons. And O'Connor retake the field and look to build on the lead.
You know, catching a punt, believe it or not, is one of the hardest things to do in football. You know, it's way up there, and it just seems like the ball is in slow motion, then all of a sudden it's in your hands.
It's probably really easy to do tonight with 20-mile-an-hour winds, right?
Oh, yeah, it's the easiest thing in the world.
Simons able to hang on to that one and give his team the ball at the 39. Oglesby gives off to Adonju, and he's wrapped up in the backfield by Gader.
A good rush by K. Gader. Chasing after Adonju, that's not an easy feat. Knowing of what Adonju is capable of.
Really good start for the defense on this drive to back O'Connor up by 2. Cale Oglesby has been really composed in this game for a sophomore. He's done everything that he's needed to do at the quarterback position. Pre-snap whistle, and Kyle Enders did not like what he saw. Barking at his team, barking at the sideline, and it's a spot where Red Mountain, they want to get clicking here pretty soon.
Yeah, the first quarter has passed, and they are slow cooking.
From your experience, something like that happens when Coach is upset on the sideline. Defensive timeout is taken with the ball where it is, not even past midfield. Is that something where Enders just really doesn't like the look? Wrong personnel group on the field? What could it be?
I think it's a lot of things, you know. It could be something that they didn't go over during film. And on the coach's side of things, they might not have the right guys in there. Like you said, a personnel thing. Realistically, as a defense, you have certain packages that you want to have. And I think Red Mountain that time didn't have the right packaging, you know.
We'll see if the adjustments have been made. Fresh face on the defensive line for Red Mountain, and it's the freshman who we got the clarity of pronunciation prior to the game, but I just have to try it in his native tongue. Ta'uda'o. Steps in, pass rush from the secondary. Who else but Jamison Wade from the linebacking core?
See, there we go. That's what I'm talking about. Getting after the quarterback. Jamison Wade, he's been playing varsity ball since he was a freshman, and he has just blossomed into a star in the East Valley. Wham, right there. And there we go. Defense has life, and it's a 3rd and 22.
Well, off the edge and able to help seal it so that blitz could come through. I want to try it one more time. Toa. I think that's it right there.
That's your best shot right there.
Clarity from the pregame, and now Red Mountain have an opportunity to get off the field. Pass down the near sideline, contested. Tyreek Cornett with the breakup. No flags on the field. Lincoln Jones, the intended receiver. And that's the stop that this defense wanted.
Yeah. Just a good stop on defense. Cornett playing lockdown from corner. Just a good rep from Cornett. Not too aggressive, but also playing the ball too.
He goes from pass breakup to punt return. Hasn't had an opportunity tonight to get loose on one. The first one that he attempted, he was bottled up by 5 O'Connor gunners, as you've been saying all night with the formation they're running, and Red Mountain dropped more deep to give some blocking. Cornett has this one back at the 31. Splits up the left side and switches the field. Now he's in a little bit of a foot race. And you can see he wants one to break loose, but a nice return nonetheless to give his offense field position around the 50.
Yeah, it looked like he was going to swing it actually to the near side toward the Red Mountain sideline. He had his eyes to that side of the field. And good job by number 29, Parker Williams, wrapping him up.
And Jackson Simons was just playing contain the whole time, waiting and setting up to help out if Cornett broke loose. Handoff on first down for Red Mountain. They get out to the 49. Cornett checks back into the game. He replaces Wyndham. And that's Arion Wyndham, not Jaden. As well as Kai Jackson. So we've seen this personnel a few times. It's often a goal line look for Red Mountain, right, where Kai Jackson gets in. He has 4 carries on the season, only 9 yards, and 2 of them are touchdowns. So the big boys are in. Jackson in the backfield. I believe Peevler's back there as well with him. And Peevler motions out of the backfield. Direct snap, Cornett takes it. Wildcat look. Grabbed by the ankle and brought down by a plethora of defenders. Marcus Johnson in with Howland.
Yeah, and then good blocks from Cole Beatty. He missed a lot of last year. He gets a pancake right where the linebackers are.
And Beatty's double strapped up with the knee braces, as you can see on your screen right now, the right tackle for Red Mountain. And they have a 3rd down and 4 staring him in the face. Play action from Joe, and he's running backwards.
King Robinson.
Josh Lee with a huge block to open things up. And you called your shot. Robinson as the first down reception. If we have it, we have to look in the backfield to see this huge block that Josh Lee makes at the back of the play.
I mean, Cody Cameron, he said it. Josh Lee is who you want, bam. I mean, it's a good block. It's not a blindside block either. And it's not even a kill shot either. It's just a love tap.
That's a hefty 265 pounds laying into you. Handoff on first down, and that's swallowed up immediately. The front seven from O'Connor has been stellar throughout the evening. Stockton Hunter gets the credit for the tackle this time around, and well, another player limping off the field this time. It was Juice Miola with the carry, and he's headed back to the sideline, and this running back room for Red Mountain has just been decimated.
And here's where those 8 running backs rostered come into play. All of which with starting experience.
Back to play action. Joe sends it down the sideline. Robinson with the toe tap grab and an experienced play from the senior on the near sideline.
Yeah, and you look at all the people he's learned from. Jacoby Lane, Gunnar Moore, Bodie Wagner. That's something you see on Sundays.
Great reception, and Caleb Joe looks comfortable out of the pocket. It hasn't really been a spot that he's been forced into, but he's also gotten 2 great blocks on back-to-back plays to spring things up from Josh Lee as well as Yosanese.
He's doing good so far, 5 for 7.
Lazzarini, check that. Kai Jackson with the carry this time around, enough to pick up the first down. Seen 4 different ball carriers in the game tonight for Red Mountain, and why not make it a 5th? Jamison Wade comes off the bench to check in, and we've seen a lot of goal line packages with him and Kai Jackson, but right now I think with the depth of the running back room just being depleted, they just have their best guys in, and right now it's Kai Jackson with Wade as the up back.
They got a really heavy formation. Wade at the fullback.
Jackson gets the carry, spits out and brought down by Lawfer. But the run game has been successful for Red Mountain on this drive. It was 4 tough ones to start: interception, punt, fumble, punt. But now they're in the red zone with 6:25 left in the first half.
Yeah, we look at successful plays. I know you think of a successful play being like a breakout for a touchdown. That was a good one there, just a chunk play.
It all comes back to simple football, and moving the chains is where it starts. Kai Jackson keeps the legs driving and picks up another first down, and Red Mountain in goal-to-go situation.
I mean, all the guys can squat, bench, a lot more than both of us combined. But Kai Jackson, let me tell you, this guy squats a lot. I mean, he's got 3 guys draped on him. He just keeps the legs pumping, hips below parallel.
Look at this setup. Josh Lee in the backfield. Wade, Jackson, who's going to get it? Kai Jackson fights towards the end zone. And a touchdown-saving tackle by a group of O'Connor players. Owen Williams has the final takedown, but quick back to the line with this heavy package.
Sure, I don't see why not.
Joe snuck one in last week. This time Kai Jackson has it, and it looks like he's short again. So 3rd and short, upcoming at the goal line for Red Mountain. They bring in all the heavy guys. Deuce Latui in the game on the line. Josh Lee, Jamison Wade. And Latui now checks out of the game, and the sophomore Darius Grayson Court's back in.
I say do it again.
The ball now brought up to the 1-yard line. We saw Caleb Joe with a touchdown on a quarterback sneak last week against ALA Queen Creek, and a timeout taken by O'Connor. Ben Cullis heads all the way down to the 10-yard line to take it. And this is a big moment in the first half for Red Mountain, right? O'Connor win the coin toss, they defer. They'll get the ball for the second half, and it's a huge spot that we saw last week for ALA, a chance to double up at the end of the half if you get the ball back.
Yeah, Red Mountain has to score on this possession. Sandra Day O'Connor's defense, however, has just been stellar, from the get-go. Forcing 2 turnovers, Red Mountain has the opportunity to capitalize and tie this game.
4-down territory for this offense regardless right now. You're not content coming out with 3?
My dad has a saying, when the ball goes inside the 10-yard line, he always says field goals are unacceptable. You got to go for it. If it's on the 1-yard line, I say you pound the rock in.
So my dad also has a saying, if they score a touchdown when they go for it in the 10 on 4th down, it's a great play call. If they get stuffed, he says kick the field goal.
It's a lose-lose situation, man.
It's a kind of Monday morning quarterback type situation, but it's in real time.
I believe the saying is like couch coach.
Yeah.
Something like that.
I think that we could all be NFL coaches from our couch with hindsight in our mind.
I'll have you know I won 10 consecutive Retro Bowl championships.
What'd you get for that? What are the accolades for the Retro Bowl chip?
Like 200 coaching credits or something like that.
Man, you're swimming in them.
I'm a free-to-play player.
In all honesty, I think aggression will be shown here by Brian McDaniel and his offense for Red Mountain as they break the huddle. And it's always fun to see the personnel he trots out. 2 big tight ends, Jaden Wyndham, Peevler as well out there, Beatty on the right side. There's plenty of bodies out there.
You got Jackson Brooks, number 55. He can lay down a pancake if he wants. He's their biggest guy on the offensive line. I wouldn't be surprised if they run it his way.
They get there quick, go sneak, and we're awaiting the signal from Caleb Joe. It looks like they're marking him shy.
It was just a mass of bodies at the goal line.
The official's waiting to pull everybody off of the pile. No signal just yet. And he's good. Suspense throughout the air, but Caleb Joe goes back-to-back weeks with a rushing touchdown. And Chase Pitzer has the game on his leg with an opportunity to tie it up.
Just way to fight Red Mountain. Having a drive that ends up in points. And it was much needed too.
Pitzer swings the leg and it looks beautiful. Evens things up at 7 with 4:42 left in the first quarter here, or first half rather, on RMTV. And I'll tell you what, Nate, prior to this game, especially with the injury to starting quarterback Tyler Johnson for O'Connor, Cale Oglesby getting the start, the community polled throughout the state of Arizona 78% in favor of Red Mountain winning this game, just 22 for Sandra Day O'Connor. That's some quick math over by me, or I'm just reading a graphic by our friends over at Bamboo Sports.
Well, that's what the community says. And you know, they might not be watching this game right now, but O'Connor is showing some fight.
They certainly are. They've looked great defensively, forcing a couple of turnovers with the interception as well as the Abnell Lazzarini fumble. And they've made a drive work, set it up with a Carson Craig spit out over the middle, finding the seam for some yardage, and it was capped off by a Jeremy Adonju touchdown. Pitzer with the big leg, there's no chance this one stays even in the stadium. That one, if not caught, would have been onto the track.
Well, with wind at his back, just a kicker's dream right there. Could have probably kicked it all the way to the scoreboard had it not been caught.
That's meteorologist Nate Smith there, letting you know which way the wind's coming from. You know your compass here where we're at right now? Never eat soggy waffles. Which way's the wind going, Nate?
The wind is coming from the southwest. We looked like a little thunderhead developing to the west.
It's a good story. You got it right. Play action on first down and a nice snag by Carson Craig as he picks up a first down, and they love that quick hitter in the O'Connor passing game, right? It's that little slant look, finding the middle of the field, the soft spot, and allowing your receivers to work with yards after the catch.
Yeah, and it is a little bit of a soft spot. Red Mountain is known for sending a linebacker, a.k.a. the Cat, in their blitz packages, so I wouldn't be surprised if they keep attacking that zone.
It becomes a little bit of a mind game too, right? Because if you're not anticipating a sophomore quarterback to have the confidence to spin it, you're selling out for Jeremy Adonju, and that's when you get beat. They go to Adonju on the ground this time. Toa makes the tackle on the interior.
Yeah, Toa, a solid 6'2", 335 pounds. He is the heaviest player on the field. And the crazy part, only a freshman. He's got 3 more years.
We'll see how he develops throughout his time here at Red Mountain. Stays on the front here at the nose position. High snap. This one could be recovered and taken. It's going to be close. I think Adonju able to fall on it. Adonju was close to the line of scrimmage, and he was able to beat Cade Goodere back to the ball to retain possession for O'Connor.
Oh my, just a close call for the Eagles. Could have swung it in Red Mountain's favor. Now give Cade Goodere some leeway. Oglesby did get in the way of him.
3rd and 27, and the Red Mountain defense just want to keep everything in front of them, and it's a handoff snuffed out right away. And that's just a high IQ play out there in the backfield to make the stop by James McGee.
I think the Eagles were trying to run their own version of wing. If we could see it on replay. Yeah, a little bit of, kind of like wing, except the running back didn't have his hands behind his back.
A nice read by McGee to make the stop, and there's 2:29 left on the scoreboard here at Sandra Day O'Connor High School. And we'll step away and take a quick timeout on RMTV. Big stops from the Red Mountain defense on the previous drive give them an opportunity to take the lead with 2:29 left in the first half. O'Connor deferred the kickoff, so they will get the ball to start the second. But it should be some nice field position for Red Mountain. Tyreek Cornett sets up to return square at the 50, and the wind is in the face for the punt of Cohen Horst.
They're going to play conservative.
Cornett
he's got to run. Oh, no, goodbye.
He's got room. One to beat. Tyreek Cornett cuts to the outside, all the way to the Costa.
I mean, everybody knew Tyreek Cornett was dangerous on defense, offense, punt returning, kick returning, it don't matter. We all had the feeling that he was going to house it, and he had a running start with this punt. It don't matter if the Gunners get there as quick as you can. Tyreek Cornett just houses it from like the 45. And that was pretty much a gimme.
Not a lot of hang time. It came up to Cornett quick, and all it took was a burst of speed. Extra point stays true, and just like that, a 14-7 lead for Red Mountain. And they have to be happy with the result as they're headed towards halftime, because it hasn't been the greatest look for the offense early on, but the special teams unit gets things done. And we knew it was only a matter of time for Tyreek Cornett, one of the most lethal punt returners in the state of Arizona. We talked about him in the pregame. We talked about him on the opening punt. And finally, he gives us what we want. runs up, takes it, and there was never a chance. Little stutter step, stiff arm, free run into the end zone. He's happy with that.
Yeah, and Stockton Hunter, the sophomore, he's tasked in being the gunner. He overran Tyreek Cornett. He's the contain guy. He's the last guy in defense pretty much, and he just breezes right by him.
You want to know just how good Tyreek Cornett is in the return game? He finished 4th in 6A in punt return yards last season.
Wow.
Another kick through the back of the end zone from Pitzer, and O'Connor have the opportunity to do it again with 2:16 left on the clock here in the first half. Just a big momentum shift thanks to the special teams unit for Red Mountain. And now your defense, if they can come up with a big stop here, you're sitting in a nice spot.
Yeah, definitely. And going into the half, like you said, sitting in a great spot after that punt return, may even after a offensive score, after the offense struggled mightily in the first quarter.
A heavy dose of Lysander To'atoa on the line for Red Mountain towards the back of the second quarter. He stays in at nose alongside Crew Vanderland and to his right. They go pass on first down, and that one towards the Red Mountain sideline, able to be brought in by Jackson Simmons.
Just overall, a great read. Them flag routes are extremely hard to cover when you're a defensive back. Doesn't matter if you're a corner or a safety, they're still very difficult to cover.
Derek Wilson got there quick, but not before a first down picked up. And O'Connor in no rush with 2 minutes left here in the first half. They're content to take their time with it, and they still hang on to 2 timeouts. Oglesby through the air again, and he faces pressure and just decides to take the sack. The credit will go to Cade Gadare, but James McGee, the first one in the backfield.
Yeah, it looks like it was going to be an RPO. Red Mountain does just a good job at not biting the run. And then a soft finish from the defensive end and linebacker.
What do you think? If you're statting it out, you give them a half and a half?
Yeah, I give it half.
Everybody eats here. Clock ticks below 105 here at Jack Dillard Stadium. Second down and 12 from their own 33 for O'Connor. Pass over the middle. Jamison Wade had another opportunity at an interception. It's only a matter of time until he gets one. He had one right in the midst last week against ALA, and that one a little bit too hot for the linebacker.
Grip boost. Wade needs to use some of the receiver's grip boost. Put some hairspray on the gloves. Or wipe them with like a Clorox wipe. Still, he does a great job at being where linebackers are supposed to be, you know.
Early movement, no flag flies, and a pass down the sideline. Incomplete, and the officials say that the receiver, well, he just gets tied up with Kai Jackson, Carson Craig, the intended receiver, and the feet just got tied up on the near sideline.
And Jamison Wade just pops the quarterback right here.
Well, and that's the thing. When you go back to talking about him, you don't need sticky gloves to make big hits, and that's what he does best.
No, absolutely not. I mean, he's just an intimidating guy. I mean, the cowboy neck collar says it all. This is a guy that you do not want to mess with.
I don't think David Kimball is going to give Tyreek Cornett another chance at it. If you're wise, you kick it out of bounds. If he gets his hands on it, he may make you pay.
Well, it's going to be right down the middle again. Oh, Cornett touched it.
So a ruled fumble, Cornett able to fall on it and almost shot himself in the foot there. Stockton Hunter was the first one to come and hit Tyreek Cornett, but he's able to recover it. And that's one of the heat check moments where he was up on it, looking like he wanted to return it. Then it came up quick, and he's like, well, that's going to land a little short, and the hop was the worst case scenario.
Yeah, it's a reality check. And the funny thing about a football, you know, it's not like a basketball or a volleyball. It's like a rounded oval. You never know where a football is going to bounce.
Red Mountain not going with the kneel formation with 43 seconds left, and they had a big play last week with Arian Wyndham, and it was all yards after the catch. We'll see if they keep it on the ground here. They go play action. Joe steps up looking towards Wyndham, and that one sails out of bounds.
I mean, he's picking his shots wisely.
Well, and it's an opportunity to take it and go a little deeper with the helping hand from the wind. It's on your side. You're right around midfield at your own 36, 37. Just see what you can do because you have plenty of leg in Chase Pitzer. One timeout still for Red Mountain. They go back to the ground, and, well, it was a lane there for Grayson Courts, but just tripped up enough, only a pickup of one.
Yeah, within 30 seconds, you'd think Red Mountain is just going to let this clock run.
They're more than happy to let it bleed. O'Connor not spending one of their 2 final timeouts. And we'll see just how far Red Mountain take it down. Play clock at 22, game clock at 10. Maybe some look at a Hail Mary or a little pitch and catch, trickaroo, anything that McDaniel pulls out of the book. Time expires. Nothing left from Red Mountain there. 14-7 the lead, thanks to a Tyreek Cornett. Punt return for a touchdown. O'Connor will start with the ball in the second half, and we'll be right back with you here on RMTV. Have played 2 games against each other. Both of them have come down to a field goal for the win. This one with the opportunity to send it to overtime. Holman from 48. Good snap.
Said it before. This team over here, a little different than us. Live in the moment, play after play. I'm telling you right now, we're gonna find out what kind of team they are and what kind of team we are. You guys understand? Everything you got, every single play. Get in here.
Let's go! Let's go! Let's go!
This time Joe just takes it himself. Red Mountain signaling for a touchdown. The officials do the same. And Red Mountain trail by 1 following a botched extra point opportunity. Oh, a little pitch underneath to the tight end. Wyndham fights forward and he's into the end zone. DeWitt looks to take the top off this one. Intercepted by Cornett. He's lethal in the return game. We'll see what kind of room he has. Tyreek Cornett busts it to the outside, down to the 35.
I'll be coming all day.
And a shot taken here by Joe over the top. He connects for the touchdown, and Red Mountain right back in it. They pitch it, double back, and Joe! Philly into the end zone!
Go,
first down. They go play action, and the pressure gets home for the first time tonight. Carey this time breaks through, falls on the ground, and it's recovered by Derek Wilson immediately. The defense is breaking through for Red Mountain and turning this game on its head. Low snap, 30-yard attempt. He gets good wood on it, up and through.
Look at me. Do we have what it takes? Let's not show up, baby. Hey, bring it in. Let's go. Hey, bring it in.
What a tackle by Chayton Jennings. Pressure comes in the setup screen from Red Mountain underneath. Lazzarini has a burst of speed. Lazzarini shows his wheel. Back to the ground here. Jackson spits forward, and he beats the line to gain into the end zone. Red Mountain with the lead.
A minute 27. A minute 27. On your feet. Let's go.
From 48. Good snap. Good hold. No good. It's blocked. Red Mountain get away with it. Cole Evans seals the deal.
Good night.
We like that! We like that! Let's go, baby! Let's go! Red Mountain! Let's go!
That's how you do it right there.
program has flourished over the years, holding many top ranks in competitive performance, including winning the Minnesota State Arts and Festival. Last year, the marching band ranked fourth in Division I, the Minnesota State Championship, took bronze over the last Friday. For tonight's show, the Pride Marching Band will be performing its 2025 competitive program titled Rock Road. Where the streets have no name by YouTube and every stage by Facebook. After our halftime performance, the band would like to honor our country with an arrangement of God Bless
Ben usually likes one eye shot.
From Major, Fidel Mackman, Jackson Cook, Miley Lawrence, and Paige Wells. Is the band ready? O'Connor Eagle Flag Marching Band and the field for your halftime performance. gentlemen, please rise for all those standing. production is just an awesome job. And we'd like to take this time to thank all of our amazing staff members, the O'Connor administration, the O'Connor football program, and of course, the endless support from the incredible Eagles Live marching dedication. Sandra Day O'Connor Booster Band Club is a title of our nonprofit organization made up of organized
A back and forth first half here at Sandra Day O'Connor High School as we take a look at the flyover from Fuego Wilson in the F-35 pregame. It's a 14-7 lead for Red Mountain on the road, thanks to a Tyreek Cornett punt return for a touchdown. Alongside Nate Smith, I'm Zach Warhack. Nate, a lot of big plays in this first half.
Yeah, a lot of big plays. The Red Mountain offense was slow out of the gate. O'Connor pounced on that opportunity immediately, getting 2 turnovers. But, like you said, offense started to heat it up, and right there, Tyreek Cornett, a running head start and a Casa call.
One of the most lethal return man in the state of Arizona. It doesn't matter if it's on a punt, a kickoff, and it's been a trend at Red Mountain High School for quite some time. We've seen Gunnar Moore take them the distance, memorable ones from a few seasons ago up the sideline from him. Tyreek Cornett has just filled in the footsteps.
Yeah, and if you want to go back even further, Lennox Lawson, he was another great return guy for Red Mountain. I got scores from across the valley and even one from out of state. Mountain View Marana versus Desert Mountain. The Wolves are taking it to Mountain View Marana, 21-0 at the half. Dysart versus Valley Christian. Valley Christian taking it to the Dysart Demons, 21-7. Lee Williams, the Volunteers versus Lake Havasu. It's 21-0 in that one. And here's a surprising one: Casa Grande versus Maricopa. Maricopa up 7-0 against Casa Grande. Horizon and Cactus 7-6. Not 6-7, 7-6. Big difference there. And then, of course, the Thursday night game, Green Bay and Washington. Green Bay with 1 minute left, 27, the Commanders 18.
They've looked good to start the season, taking down Detroit and now Washington. So not to be stymied with there in the NFC are the Green Bay Packers, but we go back to high school and take a look at our 2025 season. What steps out to you, or stands out to you rather, on this schedule for Red Mountain, Nate?
What stands out to me is that there's some rematches in this one. Sandra Day O'Connor and Sal Point, both teams that Red Mountain played 3 years ago, as a matter of fact. Brophy in there too in the postseason. They get to kind of rerun it, kind of give them another punch after that that one heck of a memorable semifinals game that was a few years ago. Desert Ridge, Mountain View, and then Gilbert. We haven't seen them play Gilbert in a long time. Then they follow that up with Highland and then the rematch they've probably been waiting for all year. the Queen Creek Bulldogs.
Yeah, it's going to be special to see what happens in a few of those games. I really like to circle that Brophy one in week 5 there. On the road, that is where they took them down. Zay Savoy with the big plays to win that one and punch the ticket for Red Mountain into the state championship 6A against Saguaro. Eventually fell short there, but this team hungry to get back and set to kick off as we're ready to get underway here with third quarter action on RMTV. We appreciate you all for being here, and a big shout out to all of our student run production crew. 12 on the clock, and it'll start to bleed shortly after this Chase Pitzer kick goes through the end zone. And O'Connor will trot back out onto the field. What have you noticed from them offensively throughout the first half? We obviously know it's been a heavy dose of Jeremy Adanju, but I think they've really mixed in passing plays at the right time.
Yeah, absolutely, and they're kind of targeting Red Mountain's underbelly. They send the cat on a blitz, and they sort of attack that middle zone with the slants, with the tight ends. And I wouldn't be surprised if O'Connor goes back to that sort of thing.
Well, fresh legs for everybody, but plenty of injuries, and Red Mountain can't seem to get away from them. Chayton Jennings inevitably out for the rest of this game here, and we'll see how that mixes things up in the secondary for Red Mountain. Handoff on first down, and the penetration is there for a second, but Adanju just incredible at slipping tackles.
Yeah, even when Red Mountain plays contained there, Adanju just does the work with his legs, just pinballs off guys. That time it was Kai Jackson left his feet on that one, and as a defensive back coach, you really want to break down. You don't want to be leaving your feet there.
Not an easy task to tackle him, and the final savior was Lyles out in the secondary, able to get it done, but not before a pickup of 9. 5 left on the play clock, and they get it off in time. Adanju has it again and could never get started. Swallowed up in the backfield, and James McGee has had an impact on this game tonight.
Yeah, James McGee has just improved a lot since he was a junior last year. Got some varsity reps as a sophomore, mainly just as a depth piece, but he's really blossomed into this Red Mountain defense.
Yeah, and he has to fill a role. Last year, just 3 tackles on the season, and he's stepping up in a huge way tonight, and it just speaks truth to the development of players throughout this program. Third down and short, they go through the air, a nice little slip screen pass to the outside, and Lincoln Jones has it, and it's enough for the first down.
It's just one of those plays that's just so hard to stop if you're a linebacker running west to east, or east to west rather.
Senior tight end, just a nice route into the flat, able to handle it, and it's just what you needed to pick up the first down, and the drive stays alive for O'Connor. Haven't called much of Braylon Lopez tonight. He's in at the bottom of the screen, back to the ground, and the penetration continues to be effective for Red Mountain time and time again.
Oh, back-to-back good stops on the Donju. And that's exactly where you want your run plays to stop, right there.
They just continue to be very effective in getting home early. And that's where Red Mountain are really attacking the offensive line, is through the guards in the center, because we know those 2 tackles are standout players for O'Connor.
On a tight formation here.
They pull this time around. Adanju picks up a couple, but takes a pop. Jackson White, James McGee sound like a broken record.
There we go. Good job by the Red Mountain trenches. You got third down here. Do you go to Adanju again, or you want to spread the rock a little bit? And I'm liking Red Mountain stopping Adanju in this box right here.
Yeah, and he checks out of the game, actually, so not one that has to be worried about for the time being. Miko Lopez in at corner for Red Mountain. They go the other way, back to the tight end flat route. That time read perfectly by Jackson White.
Just way to get to the ball. Read the route perfectly. I mean, That's a throw that as a linebacker you want. It's not too deep. It's also not too shallow so you don't bite on it. Just way to play the sticks there.
Well, 4 minutes killed off the clock. O'Connor only make it to the 36, and now they'll have to punt it away to Cornett. Red Mountain bring the house on the punt. They don't quite get home, and Cornett has room to work with. Cornett spits out a one tackle, cuts it back. He has the near sideline and a cavalry of blockers. Cornett switches the field.
Oh, look at number 9. Wow.
Touchdown saving tackle at the end of it, but not before a massive return. Colton Laufer able to bring him down, but Tyreek Cornett has been the story of this game.
Colton Laufer channeled his inner DK Metcalf and chased Cornett down. There's just no quit in the senior whatsoever. And Cornett almost houses it twice. I mean, he finds the outside, cuts it back inside. Look at Lofner.
By the ankle. All it takes is a little bit to change the momentum and trajectory of that play. Good to see here for Red Mountain. Abnell Lazzarini back in the game at running back. Has that right leg wrapped up. And O'Connor's defense have a tall task ahead of them.
It's just so hard as a defense to keep the offense out of the end zone after a long punt return like that.
Joe looking for a motion, and Peevler steps off, and a little bit of miscommunication on this play.
Jaden Wyndham was wide open.
Yeah, it never had a chance to develop. Caleb Joe, it looked like he wanted motion out of somebody and just never got it, and then there was confusion on the play action in the backfield with Lazzarini. That was a jailbreak.
Absolutely, and Jaden Wyndham is just going to run a post or a fade, and he is just wide open. Nobody within like 10 yards of him. It seems just a simple pop pass would have done the trick, and it's 3rd down.
After the big return from Tyreek Cornett, 3rd and 11 for Red Mountain with 6:54 left in the 3rd. Joe faces pressure, rolls to his right, and takes off with his legs. Caleb Joe brought down short of the end zone, and now it's decision time for this Red Mountain offense if they want to stay on the field.
Well, it looked like he was trying to juke out the defensive back here. I mean, from our angle, it looked like he had a clear one into the end zone, but...
Well, an interception tonight and a touchdown saving tackle for Corin Ellie. And Red Mountain, well, they bring the big boys in and stay out on the field. 4th down and goal from the 1. Jamison Wade as the up back, Abnell Lazzarini deep. They snap it, Lazzarini swallowed up at the line, and O'Connor make the stop, and the sideline goes wild.
I mean, this is... At that point of the drive, as an offensive lineman, it's just put your head in the ground and just drive somebody into the dirt, put them on a tombstone. I mean, you have guys on their back on the offensive side of things, and that's just something, as an offensive line coach, you do not want to see out of your guys.
You get best on best in that situation. Chase Bigler wins it. O'Connor backed up deep, though, at the 1. Red Mountain bring the house, and the pass over the middle incomplete. This is where you oftentimes see situations where the offense has an open playbook and an opportunity to call anything. Right now, this is a dream scenario for Kyle Enders for Red Mountain, because he can bring so many different kinds of pressure to try and force a safety or an errant throw.
If you're the defensive back, you don't want to get a little too happy and jump in front of a route prematurely. They're going to play man.
They go with the handoff and plenty of room for Adonju. Adonju out across the 20. Couple of missed tackles, and Tyreek Cornett was going after the ball that time. He tried to strip it out, but Adonju too strong.
All 4 points of contact there from Adonju. And just a good blocking scheme from the Eagles that time.
A pickup of 21 on the play, where O'Connor had their backs against the wall. Now the opportunity to work with this drive. Play action and a shot down the sideline, just overthrown. Derek Wilson had some words with the O'Connor sideline after that credited pass breakup, him in the vicinity, and just the overthrow that time around. But he wanted to let him know he was there.
Oh, he's putting the square up, or whatever the celebration is you're drawing with your hands.
Imagination. Makes it 2nd down and 10 as Cale Oglesby awaits the snap with 8 left on the play clock. Adonju up the middle, and well, you meet a rocket in Jamison Wade if you try to go through the A-gap.
I mean, that's just a football play right there. If the terms football play had a definition, then Jamison Wade just did that. Read his gap perfectly, tackled Adonju right at the line of scrimmage to bring up 3rd down.
I know it sounds silly, but Jamison Wade has really began to hit his stride. He's played on this team for plenty of time. Opportunity to break the tackle record for Red Mountain. 7 tackles week 1, 14 week 2 against ALA, having a great game in the run game this week. So O'Connor just flipped the field on 3rd down and go back to that tight end flat route with Lincoln Jones. Unsuccessful to move the chains. And well, we've heard this story before, seen this film before. O'Connor didn't like the ending, but Tyreek Cornett back to receive.
And we all wait for the mountain lion to strike.
David Kimball, the punter, has faced pressure on the past few attempts from Red Mountain, and they've mixed up their looks where they've gone back in coverage in the return or brought the house. 1 second left on the play clock. They just get it off.
Wow.
Nearly blocked. Cornett will have a go again. Wow, what a stop made. That was a little bit of an assisted tackle. Stockton Hunter makes the play. But Red Mountain, they gave a little aid. He was pushed into the stop. Take a look at the replay.
Yeah, it looks like number 9, Doc Curtis, pushing Stockton Hunter right into Cornett. I mean, everybody knows by now, if Cornett hits the edge, he's dangerous.
So no call for the block in the back, but the assisted tackle. And with that, Red Mountain, we're ready to set up, but you got to remember the big boys are broadcast tonight over on the CW as well. So a TV timeout scheduled, and we'll hold here on RMTV as well. 3:56 left in the 3rd quarter, a 14-7 lead for Red Mountain, and they take over with possession when we return. A tight game between O'Connor and Red Mountain at Jack Dillard Stadium. We welcome you back to RMTV. Alongside Nate Smith, I'm Zach Warhack. And a 14-7 lead for Red Mountain, and they have possession at their own 31. A handoff on first down, and that one met. Jaden Wyndham just could never set the edge with the block.
Yeah, that's a block Jaden Wyndham has to pick up.
Williams and Silver in on that tackle, loss of 2.
We're going to go no huddle here.
Darius Grayson Courts, the back this time around. Abnell Lazzarini limping on the sideline, and the hard count ever so successful for Caleb Joe. He got ALA last week with that, and this time O'Connor bite. So a little bit of help with Red Mountain pre-snap there, as they gain 5 from the penalty, and that makes it 2nd down and 7 after the failed run attempt on first down. Joe goes play action, and he wins the fake, and a deep shot to Robinson, able to haul it in, and King Robinson has been stellar at working the sidelines tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. So some toe drag swag on both sides, the Red Mountain sideline and the O'Connor sideline. Immaculate game.
Momentum for the Red Mountain offense, and they look to capitalize. They go quick, low snap to Joe, and he just runs that one and picks up a couple. Red Mountain still getting the signals from the sideline, deciding to work quick, and look at this beauty.
Toe drag swag.
This passing offense has been able to spread the wealth throughout the season. We've seen the tight ends get involved with Jaden Wyndham, and then Arian Wyndham, wide receiver, King Robinson, plenty to go around. Abnell Lazzarini has the pitch out of the backfield, and that one's bottled up by Caden Vallow.
Yeah, Caden Vallow, just a good job at breaking down, not overrunning the receiver. You know, he had a very fast walk up. Like he was going to press King Robinson. And I got to say, some receivers flinch, just like that one right there from the defensive lineman. Most receivers flinch when they see a DB coming up that fast to press you.
Joe looks down the sideline on the comebacker, incomplete, and it brings up 4th and 7. So a chunk play for Red Mountain got things started, and then they've been stymied since, but Brian McDaniel from the sideline pushing his offense back out onto the field, and they'll go for it. Late substitution for O'Connor just makes it off the field in the nick of time. Ethan Anaya.
Ooh, I don't know.
Joe decides to just punt it, and that one is handled quickly by Lawfer, breaks a first tackle, and then gets out towards the 45. Kind of a funky look.
The surprise QB punt, yes, it is. It is a little effective at catching the defense off guard, but with the wind not in Red Mountain's favor and just an awkward-looking punt, I mean, it's pretty much like if you get a turnover on downs.
Yeah, I don't think that Caleb Joe had the contact that he wanted on that punt. He's going to maybe head back to the sideline and tell Chase Pitzer, dude, that's your job. With 1:37 left in the third quarter, Red Mountain look to hang on with their defense, and O'Connor see if they can make something happen offensively. Flag flies early in the play, and Adonju is going to work back to the Red Mountain sideline and fight through a shoulder tackle out of bounds as we await the flag. It looked close to pre-snap, and usually if they let it play on, it's on the defense.
They're going to say it's an illegal shift.
Good call by me, huh? you can't always have them right, you know?
Nope, not at all.
That's why we wait for the officials to make the signal, and that's big for Red Mountain because Adonju was able to pick up about 15 there, and instead it's 1st and 15. Toa back in the game for Red Mountain at the nose guard position. Cade Goodare and Cole Edmonds showing pressure off the edge. Red Mountain just bring 4, and a pass down the near sideline is complete for a pickup of 8. So Braylon Lopez seeing his first action of the evening. 1 target, 1 reception.
Going to be 2nd down. Mountain Lions ran some cover 2 there. And the receiver kind of sat in an awkward position where either the corner got him or the safety got him.
They say 2 left to go, and after the penalty to make it 1st and 15, that's a 13-yard pickup with 50 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. Back to the ground and back to success for the Red Mountain defense. I mean, they are just getting home, and Jamison Wade has been the story of the night.
Something was said in that film room that lit a fire in the front 7's eyes. They're just getting after Adonju in this 2nd half. I mean, he's been stymied multiple times in the 3rd quarter already.
And I know I said Jamison Wade's been the story, but we've seen James McGee get penetration from the front. Cole Edmonds have his nose involved. A group effort, but certainly a few stars have stood out. O'Connor let the clock bleed to 000s, and they trail by 7 as we head to the 4th quarter on RMTV. It's been a gritty 3 quarters here at Jack Dillard Stadium between the Red Mountain Mountain Lions and the O'Connor Eagles. A 14-7 lead for Red Mountain on the road. And both of these teams have had it tough, Nate. Facing injuries headed into the game. For O'Connor, it was starting quarterback Tyler Johnson, who got knocked out last week against Hamilton. And for Red Mountain, it just seems like they cannot keep that running back room healthy. And Chayton Jennings in the secondary also exits the game.
Yeah, it's just an absolute heartbreaker for this team, especially for Chayton Jennings. I mean, team chemistry-wise, you know, it sucks the life out of the defense. And it just sucks not having, you know, a familiar face in the weight room putting in work. But it gives you a little more motivation knowing that you're going to play for him every Friday night.
Well, in talking with Kyle Enders a couple of weeks ago, he said that Chayton is the quarterback of the secondary, so you lose that shot caller back there because Jamison Wade takes care of everything up front. Miscommunication early here from somebody as a pre-snap penalty has occurred and a flag flies on the field. It goes against Red Mountain. And that's an impact play because it goes from 3rd and 4 to 1st down and 10 for O'Connor.
The quarter hasn't even started yet, and Red Mountain off to a terrible start.
It just feels like one of those games that hangs in the balance, and one bounce is going to decide the outcome. Simmons motions, and they go through the air on 1st down. Pass to the far sideline. It connects with Simmons.
We're going to say it was incomplete.
Just lost it at the end.
Yeah, it looked like the ball was tipped. Just barely touched the ground.
Hands up in the front for Red Mountain, and it's successful. Brings up 2nd down and 10. Adonju, the single back. He awaits the snap from Oglesby. Play action. They look for that slant, and Cornett tries to jump it again, but a strong contested catch by Carson Craig.
Tell you what, Carson Craig is the man for these slant routes. He just hauls this in. I mean, yeah, Cornett drags him down, but Craig, just a grown man's catch right there.
And he provides a fresh set of downs to this offense, who have an opportunity to go anywhere, and they've been comfortable passing the ball tonight with the sophomore stepping in as the starter tonight. This time they stay with the ground game, and it's the same story. Every time they hand it, someone's there for Red Mountain. Cade Gadare credited with the tackle this time.
I mean, we have this on repeat. They've been just dominating in the second half and containing Adonju. The guys in the box are getting their done. They're winning their individual battles, and good stuff comes from doing that.
A loss of 1 on 1st down, and Jamison Wade signaling to the sideline. He wants the call from Kyle Enders, and he's getting everyone situated. Pre-snap penalty and a deep shot over the middle taken and broken up. I think we may have another pre-snap penalty on one of those shifts.
Yeah, those illegal shifts, it almost always comes from a receiver in motion or a running back in motion, never getting set.
Looks like Kyle Enders elects to decline the penalty, so that brings up 3rd down and 11. I like the decision there. Your defense has been getting home enough. The secondary starting to step up and break up passes. Give yourself an extra down.
Well, they got 3rd and 10. I think they're going to test the secondary here.
Oglesby goes over the middle and just out of the reach of Lincoln Jones.
Well, Red Mountain just plays straight up silver, which is man, and it's going to be Derek Wilson and Lincoln Jones. It was just a vertical right up the middle. Derek Wilson got a little behind him. Pass over the head of Jones. Good break there from the secondary.
And field position is right in no man's land for O'Connor. Too deep for a field goal, and they don't want to punt it away, so here we go. Quick pass out, and Craig tries to work with it after the catch. Craig with the 1st down. You mentioned he's been the guy for those slants. This time he gets the quick one in the flat. And well, it looks like he has enough for the 1st down, but I think a hold, and this one is coming back.
Either a hold or a block in the back. Let's look at the replay, and this is just a mismatch right here, and right there's the hold.
Cornett was in to break down and try and make the stop. And that's a good job fighting through it to be able to draw the penalty. And now it looks like the sticks have been pushed back far enough for the special teams unit to head back out onto the field for O'Connor.
Now we saw the kick from Caleb Joe go about 10 yards with stronger winds than the ones we have right now. Winds are still strong though, and they can affect a punt.
David Kimball looking to get a little bit better contact on his kick. Cornett sets up at the 10. O'Connor gets settled and they muff the snap, and it's a fire sale. Who else but Cade Goodare? Well, what's better than a Tyreek Cornett return, Nate?
A special team stop, and I tell you what, special teams coach Josh Barr, he's been calling himself a game so far, drawing up schemes and pressures, and you know, some of it conservative, some of them he's bringing the heat to the punter, and that time they get home.
The last thing you want to see as a punter, especially if you're David Kimball, is Cade Goodare coming down the train tracks. Huge momentum swing, and Red Mountain have an opportunity to capitalize on this drive and not necessarily give the final blow, but throw a pretty heavy punch. Wildcat formation, pre-snap penalty. Tyreek Cornett was wrapped up by Marcus Johnson anyhow in the backfield.
You know, it's penalties like that that just really kill momentum. And you talk about adrenaline running high, and then you have a penalty, and all of a sudden it falls flat.
And Red Mountain go back to their standard look. Lazzarini in the backfield with Caleb Joe, but Tyreek Cornett sets up in the slot on the far side of the line. They keep it on the ground, and Lazzarini is met immediately. Mirror image from both defense on either side, doing a really great job stopping the run. Jackson Duffy, the one to make the tackle, and one and done. Makes the tackle, back off to the sideline.
And talking to Kyle Enders before the game, you know, Caleb Joe really needs to take care of the football. And even before the ALA Queen Creek game, he said that he really hasn't been in a situation to play game manager, and he has the opportunity to do so, and Caleb Joe goes down in the backfield.
Yeah, they set up a a running back screen to Lazzarini. Pass rush gets home, Caleb Joe takes a hit, but it results in a pickup, and 3rd down and 8 upcoming.
And here's crunch time with 10 minutes remaining of the game.
Connor Croker just had a free run at Caleb Joe, and we've talked about that's what you see when you set up a running back screen. There's going to be someone that gets home. Red Mountain have struggled to convert on these 3rd and longs so far tonight. Joe comes back to King Robinson, absolutely nowhere to go as Caden Vallow reads it like a book.
And Cole Beatty frustrated with that one. He really wants that play back. And from a offensive line perspective, I know it's hard. It's really hard. You got to run all the way down there, and you got to pick up your assignment. But that play simply cannot be done by the wide receiver himself. It has to be done with another teammate blocking. And we stress the importance of receivers blocking like that.
O'Connor's defense have come up big time and time again to keep themselves in this game. High punt, spinning down and out of bounds inside the 20. Pitzer is having a night.
I mean, that looked like it was shot out of a jugs machine, didn't it?
Everything you want, the hang time, the spiral, the turnover, and they call that a coffin corner. Sweet punt by Pitzer to pin O'Connor deep in their own territory. 7:56 left, still all 3 timeouts for the side of O'Connor. and Red Mountain in this half.
Let's go, team!
Really just a defensive battle that we've fallen into during this game. O'Connor go through the air on first down. Sidearm release, nearly intercepted. And somehow, some way, Braylon Lopez comes down with it.
I mean, one of these days, the linebacker room is going to have a pick. It's certainly something that Coach JP is going to work on during the week next week. Just an unlucky break for Red Mountain. Granted, it only gets O'Connor 3 yards. Still a gain.
They'll be singing and marching in the streets over on Brown Road. One of these Red Mountain linebackers make an interception. And just another completion to Carson Craig. He's been really, really stellar for the O'Connor receiving corps tonight.
And Zach, if you really think about it, O'Connor has some leeway on this. They can bleed the clock a little bit, run it with a Donju, get him some short yards, throw some passes over the middle. That's been a weak point for Red Mountain through this entire game. And they can let this clock wind down.
Well, and Red Mountain games always have a flair for the dramatic. Out of the backfield, a Donju with the reception, and he bursts up the sideline. Seems like these Red Mountain finishes always come down to one score, a field goal, something big, or a coaching decision. We could have it all here. Like you said, clock bleeding down. If O'Connor score on this drive, then it becomes crunch time for Ben Cullis if he wants to go for 2 and just try to end this thing at home. Quick out of the huddle with 15 seconds left on the play clock for O'Connor. Jake Gumbert checks into the game at the receiver position, the inside slot, and he's the one in motion. Oglesby steps up and fires over the middle. Flag is thrown on Cornett.
2 of them.
Well, there have been a couple of times in this game where feet have gotten tangled up. We'll see if we can tell here.
What do you think, partner?
It's tough. I was leaving it in the balance for you, but Cornett got that right arm. It was around the waist, but I don't know if there was any contact. It was hard to tell from that angle, but it really did look like the feet got tangled up with one another there. I'm not sure there was much.
Yeah, I have the same sentiments as you. But Jamison Wade came streaking up the middle, and Adonju just picks up the block. And had he not picked that up, Oglesby would have been leveled.
Hand off to Adonju. Wade comes in for the finish, but Cole Edmonds was first to wrap up. We see Rocky Granillo in the game now as well. He's been in and out time and time again throughout the evening as Red Mountain just continue to go to those depth pieces.
And you think if Kyle Enders sends one guy, does that leave the middle section open? Or are they going to go conservative? They send 3 here.
Great run defense again. James McGee reaches that paw out and grabs on and hangs on for the ride. Him, Crew Vanderlinden at the bottom of the pile.
And here we go, big 3rd down here for both squads.
We could just say that every 60 to 90 seconds. Big 3rd down, big 3rd down, big 3rd down. It happens again. Do Red Mountain have the ability to get off the field this time around? They bring pressure. Picked up. Oglesby has to release it quick. It depends on the spot.
Oh, a penalty down.
And the spot looks like it's around the 40.
The Cornet's saying it's on the Eagles.
Indeed it is. It looked like an ineligible downfield signal from the official. And that makes things a little bit more comfortable for Red Mountain. Yosin now checks into the game to set up on the line and see if he can create some pressure of his own.
And Red Mountain's secondary has been pretty strong. Even in the absence of Chayton Jennings.
They bring 4 and drop everyone else back. Oglesby with a deep shot. Comebacker. Cornett comes up with one.
What is there this guy can't do? He plays offense, he plays defense, he plays special teams with grit. And that's another pick for Tyreek Cornett. He had one last week. Go up and high point it. That's the perfect technique right there. Reads it perfectly.
Well, and he's doing it against a big body tight end in Lincoln Jones, 6'4", 220. Gets up and away, able to pick that one off. And you got to think he's content with himself now, because if you rewind back to the first half, he had that free pick 6 where he jumped the route and was unable to hang on to it. This time a successful interception leaves us with 4:37 left in the fourth quarter and Red Mountain on top and with the ball on RMTV. It's crunch time for both teams at Jack Dillard Stadium as 4:37 remain in the fourth quarter, and Red Mountain have been nursing a one-score lead for a majority of this game ever since the first half. We bring you back into the broadcast booth alongside Nate Smith. I'm Zach Warhack. What's it going to take to finish this game for Red Mountain, Nate?
What's it going to take? Everything. Everybody needs to be bought in of a 14-7 game with 4 minutes and 37 seconds. Everybody needs to win their battles, especially up in the trenches. The offensive line hasn't looked good in providing a lane for the running backs.
Red Mountain back deep in their own territory as well as both teams break the huddle. They begin at the 12-yard line, and the usual suspects that you talk about for that offensive line back out there. Josh Lee, Cole Beatty. Lincoln Alicio sets up to snap things and get us started. They go with the handoff on first down, and there's nowhere to go if you're Darius Grayson Courts.
Yeah, that's just been the theme for Red Mountain's running attack. You know, they're going through guys left and right, Abnel Lazzarini, Kai Jackson, Darius Grayson Courts. They just haven't been able to bust off a big run, whether that's a screen or just a draw play. They just really haven't had that big play potential.
Initially, it had been the big boys of Peevler and Wyndham setting into block, but that previous play, Angelman Roy gets a go. And Red Mountain go back to the ground on second down, and quickly it's going to be third down and long upcoming after a nice tackle made by Owen Williams. See Peevler now heading back to the sideline. Tyreek Cornett checks in, so Red Mountain elect to go a little bit smaller on 3rd and 13, but they're backed up to their own 9.
Yeah, they're going to go with Mr. Triple Threat here. Empty package for Red Mountain. They got Wyndham lined up at the tight end position.
This is a great drive for the O'Connor defense. You haven't lost a lot of time, and you've made 2 big stops.
Not to mention 3 timeouts.
There's 5 left on the play clock for Red Mountain. They may need to burn one here, but they get it off just in time. Over the middle, Wyndham can't hang on. And another 3 and out for the Red Mountain offense. And with 3:06 left on the clock, O'Connor have to be licking their chops to have an offensive drive succeed.
Yeah, and that's huge because it stops the clock too. It in effect works as a timeout.
So Jackson Simmons now sets up deep to return at his own 45. And we'll see if he can do his best Tyreek Cornette impersonation. Chase Pitzer tucked into his own end zone where he'll boot this one away.
He's been really good at flipping the field tonight. He's got the wind in his favor too.
Red Mountain have been bleeding the play clock and it hits zeros. We'll see if the officials are resetting it or a timeout taken, and it looks like Red Mountain have to spend a timeout there, and Kyle Enders is pointing back at the clock while talking to the official. Josh Barge in on the conversation as well, so I'm not sure what the story is, Nate.
Trying to decipher what could possibly be said. Maybe the play clock didn't get set properly. Oh, just really bizarre. Red Mountain has to burn a timeout on a special teams play.
Well, it's not a place you want to lose one, especially with where the scoreline is in this game. And if O'Connor are able to make something happen and convert a 2-point conversion, then you want to have every single timeout available. But it's also a crucial spot where you need to make sure everything's right and you don't want to lose anything in the back of the end zone, and you need to execute this punt. Chase Pitzer has been legendary with that left leg tonight. Low snap, he takes it on the hop. Is that Chase Pitzer or Derek Jeter? I don't know. But he got Red Mountain out of a situation, and Simmons elects to pick it up. What a wild sequence on that punt.
You know, he faced a similar situation last week. It was a ground ball, and like you said, scooped it up like a second baseman, and somehow managed to boot it past the 50. And within 3 minutes, it's time to shift into go time.
Keep an eye out for Carson Craig in the receiving corps for O'Connor. He's been the go-to target tonight. That's number 4 for those of you at home. Oglesby looks that way over the middle. Broken up. Cole Edmonds, Jamison Wade, and Jackson White all involved.
Yeah, a bit of a bizarre route combination. They had Jackson Simmons, and then they had number 80 make that Jake Gummit. They were both kind of in the same area. Bit of a bizarre play call there.
Kind of 2 players on the same unit fighting for the ball. Quick snap here. It's a sprint and a fumble. The ball is loose, but it's recovered yet again by Adonju. That's the second time he's had to pounce on one tonight.
It's that Statue of Liberty play. They did it once. Did not work the first time. Definitely didn't work the second time.
I mentioned earlier that the game would come down to maybe a bounce either way. That one could have gone Red Mountain's way to seal the deal.
Yeah, and then it's 3rd and long. Red Mountain struggled with this against ALA Queen Creek in the latter half of the game.
Flag early and the whistles go. So another pre-snap penalty, and it's a procedure against O'Connor. False start, and that makes things, well, I feel like a broken record. 3rd and long to 3rd and forever. But it had been a struggle for the Red Mountain defense all the way to last year. they've gotten themselves in great situations where it's 3rd and long to ranges like this where there's 22 yards to go and they've given up first downs.
Absolutely. Exhibit A, ALA Queen Creek, when Nash Proctor caught that ball and ran, pretty much took past the first down marker.
We'll see if they can come through this time around. Oglesby pulls the snap down, steps up in the pocket and takes off. Linebackers get home, and that is a huge play by Derek Wilson coming out of the secondary. Just textbook tackling.
O'Connor has 3 timeouts left. They really going to let this clock run? 1:30 left. It's 4th and 15. Ben Koulos is not calling a timeout yet.
Chance to go for one. One-handed snag by Craig, but he is not even close to the line to gain. The stick you see on the screen is the original line of scrimmage. And Red Mountain not only get out on 3rd down, but they make a huge 4th down stop. And 1 first down will get the job done, but O'Connor do have 3 timeouts.
Unless they're going to trust in their defense to come up with a big stop.
This is one of those on the schedule that is kind of an adversity test for Red Mountain. You see plenty of injuries, a lot going on with your squad, and it's almost like a trap game. Handoff on first down, flag flies towards the line of scrimmage as Lazzarini gets wrapped up. But it feels like a trap game, as I was saying. Short week, Thursday night football, and a backup quarterback on the other side of the field. And you're just hanging on to a 7-point lead.
I'll tell you what, Yos Anise.
They pick up the flag and wave it off, just for your information.
Yos Anise was giving McKylan Howland the business.
Well, and that's a battle between those two because Howland, he has a motor that doesn't quit, according to Ben Cullis. And we'll keep it right here with you on RMTV as the first time out of 3 goes off the board for O'Connor. But like I said, trap game, tough schedule for Red Mountain, and this is one that you certainly need moving forward, right?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it kind of sets the tone for the rest of the season. You got Sal Point coming to town. Then you go back to Brophy. And then, I mean, the rest is there. It's a gauntlet.
Well, it's your stretch of region play as well, and Red Mountain look to dominate there and see what they can do. But if they continue to hang on here tonight, it'll be a 3-0 record to start the season with 1 out-of-state victory.
All that's needed is just pick up the first down.
Lazzarini has a little bit of room, but not too much. Owen Williams has been nice in this second half for the run stopping of O'Connor, and 1 minute and 2 left on the clock. O'Connor down to 1 timeout, and all they need is 1 stop, but it feels like a situation with us calling so many of these games for Red Mountain. Brian McDaniel has pulled out a couple of tricks in situations just like this.
Yeah, and right here, I'm watching for the pop pass right down the middle to Jaden Wyndham.
The ever so involved tight end, who has been a little bit quiet tonight, right? He's made a couple impact blocks, but in the receiving game where you expect to see him, hasn't been too much going on for the entirety of the passing offense. But as you mentioned, Sal Point at home for Red Mountain will be there to have that call for you next week. Then you go on the road to Brophy. Then we get all that region play. Desert Ridge, Mountain View, a little intermission with Gilbert. Then you have Highland and Queen Creek to round things out. Feels like I'm not calling out too many games. They're already 3 weeks into the season. It feels like it flies so fast.
Well, like Coach Runge said, blink and it's over.
We get the whistle to resume play. King Robinson sets up at the bottom of the screen in isolation from the game camera perspective.
Ooh,
Joe
bobble.
just gets it off to Lazzarini, and a broken play turns into a game winner. The storyline you talked about earlier, Yosenis somehow gets the helmet off of Mykylan Howland, and Howland barking at the official saying he deserved a call.
Well, that last play, or the play before that, Yosenis just pounced on Mykylan Howland. And look, oh wow.
The two of them just battling in the back of the play. How often do those situations happen, Nate, where you're just competing with one guy that you keep seeing over and over and over and over again on the night? A couple of things may be said, tempers flare, and you just want to get the better of that guy.
Yeah, absolutely. I've actually gone through those feelings. You get that feeling of, hey, I'm really sick and tired of seeing you. And it comes to a point where all those emotions are pent up and, your helmet, flies off and you start throwing, punches and whatnot. All you really need to do is just contain your anger. I know, really hard to do, especially as a football player, but really contain that anger. It's controlled chaos. That's why you see so many blindside blocks, okay? Blocking the back penalties. Those are just pent up emotion.
A lot of positive emotion soon to come for Red Mountain as they're in victory formation. And with one more of those, they'll seal the deal and move to 3-0 on the season. Maybe not the prettiest game, but the result you want.
Well, there's a lot of learning to be done in the film room. Not just as an athlete, but as a student and being an observer. Not just at practice, but in the classroom as well. And Red Mountain gets the win 14-7. Like you said, it's not a pretty one. It was not a pretty one. Things were not according to plan. It wasn't as sweet and satisfying as the ALA Queen Creek one last week. But work is to be done.
Well, the story of this team has oftentimes been the defense bailing you out of a game, right? Making big stops if the offense can't get going. And last year, Simon Lopez sometimes relied on the defense to give him a spark, and then he would just start lighting the world on fire. Tonight, the defense got things done, and it was Tyreek Cornett who was really the difference maker, the game-winning touchdown on a punt return. And the special teams, like you said, the middle child, the little brother, whatever you want to call it, of the three offense, defense, special teams, that's the factor of the game that mattered most tonight.
Yeah, and moving on to my MVP, I'm going to save Tyreek Cornett for you. I'm going to go with Josh Barge, the special teams coordinator. I mean, he drew up pressure kind of like a defensive coordinator like Kyle Enders does. He was getting after the punter and just ultimately giving Cornett opportunities to succeed in the return game. And that critical sack, if you will, from the special teams late in the game, that was a momentum swing. I mean, that absolutely played a key part in Red Mountain's victory at Sandra Day O'Connor.
And we see that statement touchdown from Tyreek Cornett on the punt return, just turning on the afterburners to get in the end zone and make a difference for his team. It's been a tight call for me for my MVP tonight, because my other honorable mention that I had, who was getting into the backfield and stopping the run time and time again, is James McGee. One to watch out for the rest of the season, but I think with the impact that the plays that Tyreek Cornett had, game-winning touchdown and interception to kind of slow things down on fourth down, I got to give it to him. He played incredible. He was locked down from the corner position, got involved on offense a little bit, and he really ended up putting the team on his back. But it's so hard to pinpoint one guy because the defense played so great for Red Mountain. Cole Edmonds and Jamison Wade, another to name a couple.
Yeah, and you can shout out the defensive line too. I mean, they really improved from last week. Last week, ALA Queen Creek's quarterback had all the time in the world to throw the ball. I mean, it was just ridiculous how much time he had. And then compare that to this week. You know, we highlighted Sandra Day O'Connor and their premier tackles, that being Tucker Smith and Jaden, both of which have D1 college offers. They were neutralized tonight.
Great run defense and a good game plan drawn up by Kyle Enders. There will be plenty of time for the Red Mountain Lions to celebrate on the way back home. It'll be close to an hour and 15-minute bus ride to get back to Brown Road, but they'll be happy all the way along. And next week, we will be back at Jim Jones Field, 7 o'clock kickoff against Sal Point. I think there's a pretty good player who went there in the NFL, isn't there?
His last name's Robinson.
What is he kind of mustard?
Bajan.
Yeah,
Bajan
exactly.
Robinson.
We got that pronunciation. Bajan Robinson ran Arizona high school football, and we will see his Sal Point Catholic team next week on RMTV. For Nate Smith and the entire student production crew here for RMTV, it's been an incredible evening, a 14-7 victory in a stalemate matchup as we see the CW getting their shine. And Tyreek Cornett, he gets my MVP. He gets the belt. We'll see you next week on RMTV.